So the current latest Crimson Desert video has been showing up and has been getting some negativities, some that's well earned and deserve the negativities, and some that's just straight on miscommunication and people not understanding what this game is about. And I get where people are coming from. They see the 50-minute video of uncut IGN video and they think the combat system is sluggish and buggy. What people don't seem to understand is that they think the game will be another generic Souls-like combat system. So when they try to approach the game and try to play it like that, they find out real quick that they'll easily get overwhelmed and punished. Let me get straight to it. This game is not another Souls-like game. I know most of you guys have been brain-rotted by every other Souls-like action games. In fact, it seems that every other single action game from AAA to AA studio has been a copy-paste Soul game over and over to the point it's a norm now. You pretty much just have your light and heavy attack and occasionally some ability bars with cooldown and sometimes some spells. That being said, I don't hate Souls games. In fact, I love them. The problem is, From Software knows what they're doing when they're developing these type of games. While most other AAA to AA games, hell even some indie games don't seem to know what they're doing. At best they'll just add in some 3 basic attack, 3 heavy attack, some ability points with cooldown, and then call it a day. We'll slap in maybe a roll or a block, and sometimes some bosses or enemies will have a unblockable red attack, and then they just call it a day and just ship the game like that. But I'm here to tell you that this game is far different from being a Souls-like game. Yes, it may first appear to be like one, with your light and heavy attack being bound to your R1 and R2, the control scheme being somewhat close to the AC games, but that's pretty much where the similarity ends. This game is more close to the early action games to the past we used to be getting, you know, the golden days of action games, back during the PS2 to Xbox to early Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 era, back when the combat system was all about being stylized and you perform various different combos. Then we had the combination of moves like the XXX and the YYY, where you had to combine light and heavy attack, jump attacks, and juggle the enemies, and so on. We had it so good back then, with ton of different type of action combat system that we could play around, and devs were likely to experiment with. Now this game is more of that. You are meant to use different type of combos, grabs, techniques, and so on. Now think this. Recently we got a remaster of a game of a Ninja Gaiden Black. Try playing the game as it were a Souls-like type of game, where you only spam light basic attacks over and over and don't try to use anything else, and see how well that goes. Now imagine doing that while skipping ahead 6 hours into the game and now give it to someone that has never played a Ninja Gaiden game. A game like that, and will pretty much get the same gameplay showcase that the IGN is showing us. Personally, I think they made a mistake by letting people play this game when they are hours into the game. Get they want to showcase all the abilities and such, but people need to ease into the game. What they should have done, in my personal opinion, is let them start at the very beginning of the game and have them have few moves and such, but have the actual player learn the importance of using everything to your arsenal. That way they'll get punished by using the same moves over and over again. That certain moves are best used when fighting group of people, while other moves are more suitable for one-on-one situation. I'll eventually make a more in-depth video about the combat system and what we can expect on how it will be played as. I will tell you this right now, it's a unique combat system out of any other open world games that we have had for a very long time. People have also been complaining about lack of lock-on, which I can entirely say is false. Hell, I might even say there's 2 different type of lock-ons. You got your soft lock-on system that we've mostly been seeing from other people, and people thinking that's the actual lock-on system, and it does not look great because the camera does not entirely lock into the target and follow them around. That's not the point of it, because there is a video of someone actually using the lock-on in this video. For example, it mostly follow the target, but you still have to eventually move around with the camera joystick to better position the camera. Now that being said, they still could vastly improve the camera, especially when it comes to debris and objects blocking the camera. But again, I think that one should not take that long to fix, and they should have plenty of time to fix that. Going over the other things that people seem to be complaining about, which is the particle effects. And yes, I can agree agree at times it can be a bit too much, but just like in Black Desert Online that we can easily tweak and fix in the settings. Personally, I think they should just have it toned down by default. I get that the devs think that all these effects and particle sprites seems cool and all, but not at the expense of not being able to see what the hell is going on. Yeah, just have it tweaked down by default and just let people choose whether or not they want to play with full effect. We have the visual, and yeah, I can see what people are coming from. There are some good things that I've seen certain YouTubers have brought up, but personally, as far as the visual, I would not say it's exactly a downgrade or anything. Rather, the time and place of the session was specifically set was kind of dull and gloomy. But the biggest hurdle is the DLSS artifact we are currently seeing does seem to use that, and we can see that there's some pixels and such because of that. I'm not that much into text and such, so it's a bit hard for me to explain it, but there's a ton of ghosting and sometimes with the weapons, and because of that, a heavy use of DLSS, we can see the issue comes with it. For example, the metal surface, we can see the armor where it all looks glittery like. Well, it's not supposed to look like that. It's the DLSS graphic AI causing it to look like that, which is not so much of a game breaking, but it does add up with the problems. There's also the classic issue that Parallel Abyss seems to have, and that's the pop-in issue. And it seems especially really bad during the demo showcase. Let's hope that they fix that and that we have a setting to tweak the distance. But at the same time, I get it. Considering how fast and the potential insane mount types we'll get, it is so likely that we'll be going so fast we'll probably not notice the pop-in. I'll eventually make a video for that one as well if you guys are interested on the type of mount that we'll get. And the final glaring issue that I've seen people complain about is the dialogue and the voice acting. Personally, I think the voice acting is fine, but I can see the dialogue being an issue. There is some pauses mid-conversation, which makes it not feel so natural, and it seems to be a glaring issue with games using pre-made animation. But the thing is, with Crimson Desert, most of the interaction are using motion capture, which is a good thing, and I wish more games did that. There's nothing more lazy than seeing pre-made animation during conversation and such. It just feels cheap and cheapens the experience and the dialogue, and just overall not making them memorable. So far, there's only been very few games that has made it work, and that's Witcher 3 and Baldur's Gate 3. Anyways, going back to topic in hand, the main issue is that they use built-in audio afterwards. As in, they don't talk during the mocap, but rather adds it in post-production, which tends to make the dialogue feel stiff and wooden at times. Personally, I think it'd probably feel way better if they brought in the actors to do it while mocapping. It would feel more alive and engaging to listen to. But I guess it's probably too late for that, so instead, they need to tweak it so it stays in sync and maybe speed up the dead time in between so it feels more natural. And finally, people are complaining about the delay, and all I have to say is this. Like, for real, this was to be expected. A huge game like this takes time, and I mean a lot of time. I don't think you guys understand on how big this game is. Sheer world size is gonna be huge, and likely a lot of things to see and explore, and of course to interact with. In every tree you can see, you'll likely be able to cut down and use it to craft stuff, and so on. Not to mention the potential amount of life skill we can do. If it's anything close to Black Desert's life skill system, you would not be disappointed. Anywhere from cooking, mining, woodcutting, alchemy, and much more. And even if the game did come out late 2025, do you know when that would have happened? Literally at December 20th. Yes, December 20th. The wait is worth it, guys. And if they need more time, so be it. I would rather have a stable game than another Cyberpunk 2077 fiasco. Overall, I still think this could be the next big game that we all have been awaiting for. And I personally look forward to 2026. Looks to be shaping out a much exciting year for gaming than this year, with GTA 6, Witcher 4, and now this game coming out at Q1 2026. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully got your optimism back for this game. If you guys did like this content, feel free to like, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. I really hope to reach 1,000 subscribers before this game comes out, and you guys really would help me out and get motivated to make more Crimson Desert videos in the future. And if you are interested, be sure to stay subscribed, since I will be going over the world building in the next video. Until then, I'll see you guys later.